Okay, hi everyone. Welcome to the Nuance Clintegrity Encoder demonstration. I'm going to start with looking at Module 7 in class. You had the practice record in Lesson 6, and so some people in the class did do that, and that's a good thing. If you haven't, then you're probably here today to learn a little more about it. So in Lesson 7, you can see that I do have just a little bit of information here about the assignment. This Lesson 7 case study record, that is the actual case study that you're going to review and code. So I recommend reviewing the record, identifying your principal diagnoses and your secondary diagnoses before you get into the encoder, because it'll be easier to just have already reviewed the record and determine what you think are the diagnoses to code. And then there are two different instructions here. This is if you purchased the VLab before January 2020, and this is if you purchased the VLab after January 2020, which is called Brightspace. I'm going to go over the one that is after January 2020, and if you're in the other system, I can show you a little after I finish this demo, because I think most people are in the one with the later than 1/2/2020. So I wanted to, I'm going to click on the instructions here. And I just want to mention the top part, the introduction. Be sure to read that carefully. There's some kind of quirks here with this encoder. You must never save your codes. If you select an account that has codes, you can just delete those or select a different account. But at the end, you'll see, just do not save the codes because multiple students use these accounts. Also, there's a really important thing about signing out. You need to sign out properly, or it could throw the whole system, shut the whole system down, and students won't be able to access it until I get AHIMA to reset it. So be sure to sign out properly. I will show you that too. And then what we're going to do then is just start going into these instructions. I'm going to demonstrate that for you. So the way I go into the VLab, after you've purchased the VLab, I go to the AHIMA homepage, it's ahima.org, and then I click on My AHIMA, and then I'm already signed in, and so then I go to, where is that? The Learning Center. Usually it says New. And then here is my VLab, and I have the full VLab access, which is now called the AHIMA VLab Health Information Administrator. And you may just have medical coding, which is fine. I recommend that actually for you, because we're going away from other aspects of the VLab in the future. We're going to mainly just use it for the encoders. So I'm going to click on that. And now I am in the encoder. I'm sorry, I'm in the VLab, and I'm going to click on Application Activities. And then I'll scroll down, and I will find Nuance Clintegrity. And I'm going to click on that. And then I'm going to scroll back up, and I find this launch link right here. So I'm going to click on the launch link. And so here's the issue with AHIMA VLab or AHIMA.org. You have to sign in something other than Internet Explorer or IE. However, in the Nuance Clintegrity, you have to be in IE to use it properly. So what I've done here is I've signed into the AHIMA VLab through Chrome, and I clicked on the launch link, and now I'm going to copy the launch link. And then I'm going to go into IE. And then I have already pasted that. I will do that again. I'm going to paste the launch link into my IE, my Internet Explorer, and I'm going to log in. And you can see here, it's pretty small, but there is the little login box to the left. So I'm going to do the user ID, which is SBC, all caps, 001. And I'm going to type in the password because I want to make sure it's the right one. It's all caps, AHIMA, #77. And then I'm going to click sign in. Okay, now I am in the encoder for Nuance Clintegrity. I'm going to make sure I go into the coding tab up here on the left-hand corner. And then once I click that, I am in this patient account area. So in order to get some patient accounts that I have created for our class, I'm going to type in SBC caps with a capital P and then AIENT. So SBC patient. And I'm going to click go. Now, the reason we do this is because the only way to get a coding summary form in this encoder is to actually go into an account. There is a standalone encoder where you can code without going into an account, but you won't get a coding summary form. These are just shells, these patients that are listed here. And so we're going to choose an account. I'm going to make it a little bigger so you can see it. So you can see that this is the account number, and then you can, the names are basically SBC patient, coding M, and that means it's a male for M. And then you can see ICD-10 is the payer, which is what we need. And then you need anyone that's discharged after 2015. So that's when ICD-10 took place. So these are just, you can pick any of these. You want to pick the inpatient under PT right here. This section right here is I is for inpatient, O is for outpatient. So in this case, we are coding an inpatient. And if there are gender-related codes, you would need to specifically pick a male or female. There are no gender-related codes in this demo that I'm doing today. So I'm just going to try picking the first account, which I'm going to click on this account number link to the left. Okay, so I have the account here. Now, sometimes when you click on an account, a box might pop up and it might tell you that there's an error. Well, you can just ignore that error, click close or click, reach or just ignore. There's a couple of different errors, and I think they're mentioned in the instructions. Today, I picked an account that has no codes in it, which is nice, and it has no pop-up error message. So if you can see, I am in the CM search window, code type. Okay, and then I will just go to this search for, and I'm going to type in appendicitis. And I'm going to hit the search icon. And you can see the green highlight here is the index with the main term appendicitis. And my search screen has moved over here. Now I decided I want to do acute appendicitis, so I'm going to just type behind appendicitis, I'm going to type acute. You can do this from the beginning. You can type acute appendicitis or appendicitis acute and get there a little quicker, but I wanted to show you guys that. So as you can see now, I'm in the index. You can scroll here, but you always want, it's going to take you to this green highlighted area, okay? So anyway, this is the code for acute appendicitis. So I'm going to click on it. And then it takes me to the tabular. So this is the actual tabular like you'll see in your book. And here, of course, like I always do, I want to review the notes and everything to make sure this is what I want. And I also want to make sure I've got the most specific code because if there were more characters for K3580, then I would want to make sure I got the most specific code. But this looks like the code I want, so I'm going to put my cursor right on that code, and I'm going to double click. And as you can see, when you do that, it's exactly to the instructions. You will over here now on the right-hand side in the code screen, see that the code populated and so did the description. Okay, you will also see there is a couple of things that I want you to look at. There are, this is a coding error here, or a coding warning. And then the POA, the present on admission indicator box, is highlighted. So I'm just going to look and see what kind of warning I have here. And I'm going to click on this red one. And this is just reminding me that I need to enter the POA. So I can either just ignore here or just close it and then enter the POA. I'll go ahead and ignore, but I do want to put in my POA. And this person came in with symptoms of appendicitis. So even though the appendicitis may not have been diagnosed when they came into the hospital, it was after study, the reason for admission. So the patient did have symptoms of appendicitis. So it would be a yes, it was present on admission. This seems to be an issue that students have sometimes, understanding present on admission, because you think that after they're admitted and there's more diagnostic tests, then it wasn't present on admission. But if the patient was admitted with symptoms of this condition that is diagnosed, then it was present on admission. So I'm going to do a Y here. Okay, and then I will go back up to the search screen. I've decided, oh, I'm sorry. I'm going to go ahead and close the appendicitis screen over here on the left. And I'm going to search again for another diagnosis. I'm going to enter dehydration. Let's see, did I spell that? And then I'll search. Okay, and so I see I have dehydration. I don't really know anything else about this dehydration. It's not of a newborn. It's not with hyponatremia. It's not with, I'm sorry, hyponatremia. So I'm just going to go ahead and select this code. This is all I know at this point, is it's dehydration. Okay, so you can see down here is the green highlight. Sometimes you have to look for it a little bit. And this is the code that I want to populate to the coding screen. So I'm going to, again, put my cursor right on that code and double click. Okay. And what has happened here is some smart tips have just automatically popped up. This is something that's in the encoder, and you can read those. But what I'm going to do right now, and this is, it's okay to use this X right here, because we are just in the coding smart tips screen, as you can see over here. Oops, sorry. Okay, let me try to fix that. So I'm going to close this screen, and I'll go, oh goodness. Okay, let's see. This worked great this morning. Okay, good. So, you know, it is kind of a pain when those smart tips pop up, but just close that window and then go back in, and you'll be able to complete your coding. So let me just scoot this over a little bit here. Okay, so what I have here is now I have unspecified acute appendicitis and I have dehydration. There are 3 warnings here, or information, smart or tips. It says to code any associated condition. Usually dehydration is related to something else, but I don't have anything, so I'm going to ignore. And then the second one here is, it's just telling you about the excludes note, and that doesn't apply to me, so I'm going to ignore that. And then the third one is about the POA. which I'm going to enter in just a moment. So I'll just say ignore, and then I'll go to the POA, and the patient was dehydrated on admission, so I'm going to put a Y. Okay, so now I have completed the coding for this sample case, and what I need to do now is come over here to this little icon. It's a piece of paper, and it says Forms, and I'm going to click right here. And this little box pops up for forms. Unfortunately, it does default to coding summary form, and that is not the one you need. If you use that coding summary form, you will either get no codes or ICD-9 codes. So you need the ICD-10 coding summary form, the very first bullet. So I'm going to click on that, and then you have a couple options here. You can go to print and save it as a PDF on your computer, or you can go to preview and copy and paste, or screen print, and you can screen print from here as well. So let me hit the print icon. So I have an option on my computer to print to PDF. So if I do that, if I decide to do that, then what I'll do is then I'll just go into my computer documents, and I will name it and save it. So I'll name it like Lesson 7 Assignment. I already did this morning, so PDF, so then I save. And I'm gonna, since I already did it this morning, it popped up like that. Another option would be, is to actually print it, and you can either scan it back in and then you'll have a PDF, or you can actually print it and take a JPEG, a picture of it is fine. You can upload a picture as long as it's clear and I can see it very well. So those are some options with that icon. And then this preview icon, you can either copy and paste it into a document. It doesn't usually lay out that great, but you know, that is one option. Or you can do a screen print here. So in either of those options are fine for you to do. So let me see, since we are in the coding form, I can go ahead and close this. Second. Okay, and then I have finished with that form, so I'm going to close this icon, this little window. And so I have completed my coding for this case. So what I need to do, I don't want to save because other students might come into this account. I'm going to come to this little person icon and click sign out. And it's going to ask me, it's going to say this encounter has been modified, discard changes, and I'm going to say okay. And so now you can see I am logged out of the encoder. So that pretty much does end the demonstration part of this meeting. Then you would go into the assignment in class and upload the document. And then if I have any problems with it, I will let you know. So anyway, I hope this has helped you. I am going to go ahead and end this recording.